Hey, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my reading journey. Hope you're all doing fine. And today I'm reading the second part of A Comedy in Rubber. Let's do this. There was nothing to stare at, and William Pry had premonitions of ennui. But he saw a large crowd scrambling and pursuing excitedly in front of a billboard. Sprinting for it, he knocked down an old woman and a child carrying a bottle of milk, and fought his way like a demon into the mass of spectators. Already in the inner line stood Violet Seymour, with one sleeve and two gold fillings gone, a corset still puncture, and a sprained wrist, but happy. She was looking at what there was to see. A man was painting upon the fence. It, bricklets, they fill your face. Violet blushed when she saw William Pry. William jabbed a lady in a black silk raglan in the ribs, kicked the boy in the shin, hit an old gentleman of the left ear, and managed to crowd nearer to Violet. They stood for an hour looking at the man paint the letters, when William's laugh could be repressed no longer. He touched her on the arm. "Come with me," he said. "I know where there is a boot black without an Adam's apple." She looked up at him shyly, yet with unmistakable love transfiguring her countenance. "And you have saved it for me?" she asked, trembling with the first dim ecstasy of a woman beloved. Together they hurried to the bootblack's stand. An hour they spent there gazing at the malformed youth. A window cleaner fell from the fifth story of the sidewalk beside them. As the ambulance came clanging up, William pressed her hand joyously. 4 ribs at least, and a compound fracture. He whispered swiftly, "Are you not sorry that you meet me? Are you, dearest?" "Me?" said Violet, returning the pressure. "Sure not. I could stand all day rubbering with you." The climax of the romance occurred a few days later. Perhaps the reader would remember the intense excitement into which the reader will remember into which the city was thrown when Eliza Jane, a colored woman, was served with a subpoena. The robber tribe encamped on the spot. With his own hands, William Pry placed a board upon 2 beer kegs in the street opposite Eliza Jane's residence. He and Violet sat there for 3 days and nights. Then it occurred to a detective to open the door and serve the subpoena. He sent for a night notoscope and did so. Two souls with such congenial tastes could not long remain apart. As a policeman drove them away with his nightstick, that evening they plied their trough. Plighted their trough. The seeds of love had been well sown, and had grown up hardly and Virgos, into let us call it, a rubber plant. The wedding of William Pry and Violet Samuel was set for June 10. The big church in the middle of the block was banked with high banked high with flowers. The populous tribe of robbers the world over is rampant over weddings. The premises of the pews. They are the gyres of the groom and the banterers of the bride. They come to laugh at your marriage, and should you escape from Hymen's tower on the black of death's pale steed, they will come to the funeral and sit in the same pew and cry over your luck. Rubber will stretch. The church was lighted. A gross-grain carpet lay over the asphalt to the edge of the sidewalk. Gross-grain. Bridesmaids were petting one another's sashes awry. And speaking of the bride's fracas, coachmen tied white ribbons on their whips and bewailed the space of time between drinks. The minister was musing over his possible fee, essaying conjecture where it would suffice to purchase a new broadcloth suit for himself and a photograph of Laura Jane Libby for his wife. Yeah, Cupid was in the air. Cupid. And outside the church, oh, my brothers, searched and haved the rank and file of the tribe of robbers. In two bodies they were, with gross-grain carpet and copse with clubs between. They crowded like cattle, they fought, they pressed and surged, and swayed, and trampled one another to see a bit of a girl in a white veil acquire license to go through a man's pockets while he sleeps. But the hour of the wedding came and went, and the bride and bridegroom came not. And impatience gave way to alarm, and alarm brought about search. And they were not found. And then two big policemen took a hand and dragged out of the furious mob of onlookers and a crushed and trampled thing with a wedding ring in its vest pocket, and a shredded and hysterical woman beating her way to the carpet's edge, ragged, bruised, and abstrapose. William Pry and Violet Samuel, creatures of habit, had joined in the scything game of the spectators, unable to resist the overwhelming desire to gaze upon themselves entering as bride and bridegroom the rose-decked church. Rubber will out. Right, guys. Thank you for joining me today and see you tomorrow on the next story. Thank you. Bye.